just right on the back of it. Why Bailey must look like inside, so?
Hello and welcome. It is the Venus International Invitational Tournament. I'm Tamara McHale and we are live at the National Arena in Kingston, Jamaica. Of course, you're looking at action from early on this week at the GC Foster College. We have lots in store for the final day. We are live on Sportsmax, Sportsmax 2, Sportsmax Plus, and on Scene TV. Lots of happenings today. We have lots in store. And of course, it's volleyball. Who doesn't love volleyball? So at this time, I am going to be joined by the man who is in charge of all of the planning. He is Mr. Kenneth Reed, and he is the president of the Venus Volleyball Club, and I understand you're also the head of the planning committee. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so I understand we have lots of things in store today. It's the final day. Can you just give our viewers a brief on what to look for?
Okay, first off, we're going to have the third place game. That will be UWI female versus Indians out of Boston. Then we move into the third place male game where we'll have Venus Vikings International versus will be versus our team out of UWI again, actually. And then we have the female finals that will be Venus, our very own Venus volleyball team versus a team out of Florida, SoFlo. And the final game of the day will be our male finals. Venus again will be featured versus Big Sippers, who are the reigning national champions out of Trinidad and Tobago.
Awesome. Earlier at the start, we saw some footage from earlier on this week at GC Foster College. How was that for you?
It was really exciting, high quality volleyball. We had good spectatorship and we were happy to expose our local spectators and players to volleyball at the highest level.
Awesome. So, I mean, I understand the tournament started way back in '91, took a break, and then started in. Can you just give us a quick history of the tournament?
Well, this is our 27th staging, and we're very proud of the longevity because we think that the Venus Volleyball product is a very integral part of helping the development of the sport locally. And that is a major part of our objective, and we're trying to ensure that both students, parents, and corporate understand that there's real value in volleyball, and we think that the Venus Invitational is a good way of showcasing that.
Okay, so we have to wrap things up quickly, but how has your partnership with Sportsmax since last year benefited you?
Well, that, quite frankly, has been that X factor that has helped the product to move to the next level. This is the first time that there's a volleyball product that is being broadcasted live, not just in Jamaica, but across the region. And that's a big deal for us. And I think this is exactly what we need to lift the profile of volleyball, not just Venus as a volleyball club, but really of the sport. And again, we are really stressing the point that there are tremendous opportunities in the sport, and we're encouraging parents and their children to participate, and we're encouraging corporate Jamaica to come on board.
Thank you very much, and we hope you have a fantastic day. That, of course, is Mr. Kenneth Reed, president of the Venus Volleyball Club and chairman of the planning committee. It's, of course, the Venus International Invitational Tournament. Now, some of you may wonder, what about the sport of volleyball? How does it work? Well, learn more in this feature.
The objective in volleyball is for one team to win 3 sets faster than the opposing team. Teams are made up of 12 players and 6 players on the court at any one time. On the court, players are positioned in 2 rows, 2 setters and a libero on the back row. In the front row, a left side, right side and a middle hitter. To win a set, one team must score 25 points and be at least 2 points ahead. The court is 18 meters long and 9 meters wide. Each half is 9 by 9 meters. The attack line is 3 meters away from the net, and the net is 8 feet above the ground for men and 7 feet 4 inches for women. A team is only allowed up to 3 touches of the ball, but can take less. The first to pass the ball, usually intended to control an attack. The set is the second and is often a setup for an attacking player to make the final shot. The third touch is an attack or spike, usually an attacking shot over the net aimed at the opponent's court. The game is a back and forth of each team setting up the ball and attacking each other's court.
Welcome back. Lots of happenings here at the Venus International Invitational Tournament in Kingston, Jamaica at the National Arena. It's the final day, and we have a number of matches in store today. Starting off, we have UWI versus India's for the women's third place final playoff. We will also be having the men's third place playoff with UWI versus the Vikings International. We'll also have the women's final, Venus versus SoFlo out of South Florida. And we'll have the men's final, Venus versus Sapos. So lots of happenings here at the Venus International Invitational Tournament. And it's time to hand over things to the commentary team. Chris, take it.
Thank you, Tamara, and welcome to the National Arena. And what an afternoon it's going to be here. And the third and fourth playoff. Excellent stuff. And it's going to be the UWI female team going up against India's from Boston, Massachusetts in the USA. Let's have a look at the starting lineup for the UWI. Shireen Richards wears the number 1, Patrice McLean, Tishelle Solis, Anicia Edwards, Cherie Thompson, and Kayla Witkins. And of course, they are coached by O'Neill Ebanks. The India's team starting lineup: captain number 7, Anna Tejeda, Ashley Smith, France Bellevue, Glennie Mercado, Michelle Moyes, and Johandre Valle Valdez. And they are coached by their captain and coach Anna Tejeda. Getting ready to go, our officials for the third place playoff. First referee Damian Gooden, second referee Seymour Lanneman. Yui in the grey and red, and India's in their black and yellow or yellow and black. This for third place honors. They build up, and that will be India's. They strike first. Best of 5 series. If they are tied at 2 sets apiece, they then go to the 5th and deciding set. Each set, 25 points, must win by 2. The 5th set, if needed, will be 15. Good block at the net. Point to India's. They're off to a 2-0 advantage. Ooh, very close at the net. Excellent point. India's strike again. They're off to a 3-0 advantage. Ashley Smith with the serve. There's a kill, and it's blocked at the net by former national Shadiq Hamilton, who wears the number 13 for India's. 4-0 in set number 1. Oh, that was a nice dink. Yui finally get on the board. Now 4-1. There is a spike. Well blocked, but it will be out of play. Point to India's. They have a 4-point advantage. They lead 5-1 in the first set. This the third place playoff. Venus International Invitational Volleyball Tournament 2019. And Yui get another point on the board. They trail 5-2 at the moment. I'm now joined by my two analysts, Douglas Hunter and Donovan Buckler. A lot of knowledge between these two gentlemen. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks, Chris. Nice being here again.
Yeah, Chris, thanks again. It's a great pleasure to be here with you guys.
Different venue, same tournament. Of course, we were at the University of Technology last year. National Arena, UE making a run. They have closed within one. It's now 5-4 in the first set, so probably finally getting their feet warm.
Yeah, I think both teams are trying to get settled down early in the game, and as you can see, the scores are pretty close. Trying to get the jitters out, but as the game goes on, things are going to get a little better.
That was a good spike. Indians will go up by 2 now. They will lead 6-4.
And as always, the change of a new scenery has always been good for especially our overseas players. So UE is used to this national arena, but India's trying to get acclimatized right now.
And you would think it was the other way around based on how both teams started. Tell me about India's though. Obviously their first time here at the Venus tournament, even though a couple of their players have played in the Venus International Tournament before. But how do you think they're liking the Jamaican environment? How are they adapting to the tournament so far and the conditions?
Well, I think they're getting involved pretty good. They kind of got settled early in the tournament play, and they kept getting stronger as they went along. They had a good run Friday in the preliminary rounds, and came up against Venus,
the defending champions. They were beaten by Venus in straight sets. Of course, at the quarterfinal and the semi-final level, it's a best of 3 environment and not a best of 5. This is a best of 5. Do you see that playing a part for either of these teams? As we see the first timeout taken in the first set. And the timeout is, of course, how long?
The timeout is a 30-second break taken by each coach. You're allowed 2 timeouts per set, and at that time the coach tries to give the team as much information as they can to improve what's going on the court.
And this time it was called by UE. Of course. Indians have stretched their lead again. They lead 8-4. They're still in set number 1. Oh, that's an ace.
Yep, and the serving on both teams, is going to kind of steer the game. A couple of aggressive serves every now and then, and a few ace, just like you saw just now.
That's Michelle Moyes, the number 10 for Indians with the ace. They now lead 9-4 in the first set. She's at it again, and, well, an ace and then a fault. That one in the bottom of the net.
And should we say, Chris, this India's team is a host of players out of Boston, Massachusetts. So they're here for the first time just to compete at this tournament. And I hear, from what I heard, is that they're here to, well, they can't win it now, but at least they're in a...
They can leave.
They're in a playoff
third
spot now, so
position.
they can at least get the third place to their name.
I was speaking to the captain just before the game. She was saying, that is Anna, of course, the number 7. She was saying that they're actually not a club, but she's a captain and she's put together this unit. They actually played in a tournament, she said, last year, September, which was the Creole tournament. I asked her if it was played in New York. She said, no, it was actually played in the Dominican Republic. They didn't win, but she said they went deep into the tournament. So she's trying to get this as an official club, but it hasn't happened yet.
And I'm pretty sure that she'll probably get the same group to come back together for next year's tournament. And with the experience that they're getting now, it's going to be better for them next year.
Right. Their number 11, France Bellevue, who has Haitian descent, lives in Boston, but she played in the tournament last year with another unit.
Yes, she actually played in last year's third place playoff. So this is her
Correct.
second third place playoff. Participating in the Venus tournament, and that's a good thing. she's getting a chance to get back, and she'll share that information with players in her region.
That was a great kill on that occasion by Renata Charles. And Yui now trail 10-8. There are two Jamaicans on the India's team as well. Ashley Smith is Jamaican, and so is Anna Gay St. Clair. Yui, though, making a run. They're within one now, and they have the serve. That's the captain we just saw on screen. Number 7, Anna Teyada. Ooh. That will be India's point. You don't see, I remember last year we were talking a lot about it, but in the women's game, you don't see many jump serves. Well, not in this tournament at least. Most of the serves seem to be, what do you call it, the float serves.
Yeah. Well, there has been a couple of aggressive jump serves in the tournament yesterday and the day before, and that team is actually going to be playing later on, so I'm pretty sure we're going to see some more serves in that aggressiveness.
Does the style of serving depend on the strategy that you want to employ? I mean, why would you use a float serve and not a jump serve, for example? As we see that play look like, well, it looked like it actually caught the line, so that might be Yui's point. Let's see. Yes, it is. So Yui pulled within one yet again. They haven't been able to draw even yet, and they trail 11-10. Of course, the set goes to 25, must win by 2. What you were saying about the serves?
Well, the serving choice is basically a player's best serve versus what the team needs. So they'll choose to float serve, which actually moves the ball around, so it's difficult to pass the ball. The jump serve, the jump top spin serve is more aggressive, it's faster, and in most cases it's probably harder to control. So the choice between one or the other is
harder to control, both from a defensive perspective and from the attacking perspective, from the serve as well?
It's harder for the server on the top spin jump serve because you really have to
be technical
on it. Yes.
Ooh, that goes out of play. That was a good block. 12-11 now. Good block by Yui on that occasion. The spike was from Johandri Valdez, who hails from the Dominican Republic, the number 1. Lives in California, though, for India's. Good serve by Yui. And finally, they draw a level. It's now locked at 12.
Yes, and taking into consideration, they were down by, I think, 4 points at one point in the set. So this is a good run by Yui.
So Yui been knocking on the door. They now draw even, and they have the serve. That finish of that occasion from India's would have been more the lob. That it wasn't a spike actually; it was more of a lob.
Yep. That was what you would call an off-speed lob.
Off-speed.
Yes.
Okay. So India's regained the lead, 13-12. That was great defensive work on that occasion. And they get the point, Yui. Well.
Yep. Yui really worked hard at regaining composure on that play. They lost control of the first ball. The second play was just good enough for them to have an aggressive attack and score the point.
And there you see the great use of the libero, because it was Kayla Wilkins for Yui who was on the court, executed that defensive move in terms of retrieving the ball, and it resulted in a Yui point.
Yep. Key players.
In case you're wondering, the reason why the yellow team has someone in the white jersey and the gray team, which is Yui, have a team in the red jersey, those are the two liberos for either side. I don't know if you want to explain to the viewers what the use of the libero is.
All right, liberos are actually defensive players who they literally clean up the back row, and they are always very good passers, very good defenders. So what they do, they create the attack for the team from there with always good passes. So as long as the settlers can get good passes, they can run better attacks.
And of course, the libero is a free substitute. They can come on any time,
Anybody.
even if you have a limitation in terms of substitution.
Anybody.
There she is.
In the back row.
Kayla Wilkins can only play in the back.
Only.
Can only play in the back. So you would never see a libero blocking or spiking.
No.
Excellent. We've already seen some of their defensive capability. There she is again. Well, this one is not most accurate, but they do well, UAE. And the dink seems like it's wide. Yes, it is. So it will be India's point. They will move up by 3 now, 16-13. That was number 7, Tichelle Solis for UAE. Sorry, Cherie Thompson actually for UAE with the number 7. And then another fault with the serve. Well, in tennis we would say that's an unforced error.
We'll say the same thing here. It's unforced error. And the thing about it, you give the opponent a point immediately.
So UAE with the serve, they trail by 2. We're in first half action. This is a third place playoff in the female category. India's went down to the defending champions Venus in the semifinals, and UAE lost to SoFlo out of Florida in their semifinal. Both were straight set losses. Of course, those matches took place at the GC Foster Sports Complex. GC Foster College, I should say. Good finish. Oh, what a
No, that ball came off the player's shoe. The ball can be played from on any part of the body. That came off her shoe, continued to play.
Excellent finish.
UAE scores the point.
So, UAE with the spike. That was Erica Harris, the number 10. It's now 17-15. And for most of the set, the Indians have had the lead. UAE did draw a level. And that's going to be out of bounds. You see the flag from the line judge.
Yeah, but there was a net call on the blocking team, on UAE's team, so the point goes to India here.
Excellent stuff. So the blocking foul would have been wide. Would she have touched the net?
Yeah, one of the blockers touched the net. That's a fault. Point to the opponent.
Excellent. 18-15 now. This time there was no infringement.
Yep.
The spike was long, so it will be UAE's point. And what year was it that the rule changed? Because obviously originally you could only get a point on your serve. No, I don't know if it's for the likes of TV or the speed of the game. It doesn't matter who serves. Once you win the point, you win the point. When did that change? Do you remember?
I really don't remember, but I think that probably took place. I really don't want to say, but the change is really to accommodate spectators.
Okay.
Spectators want to see points on the boards.
Correct.
So therefore, once the game is started, somebody has to score a point. It brings the crowd into it.
I remember, and I'm sure it's at least 10 years. I would think it's more 15. But I remember when in the original days of watching volleyball, for example, you could see going back and forth, and no point scored.
Exactly.
I mean, it would be like in tennis, deuce advantage. So, yeah, it was really a toss. And well, I wonder if that would have had an effect on how persons would have served as well, because obviously it would be more important in terms of how you execute your serve in those days, because you could only get a point off the serve. No, the serve can be just used to start the play.
Yep.
Well, Chris, how I say it, I think it's more of a TV thing, because the quicker the game, it's the better it is for TV purposes and the spectators, as Douglas says.
Everybody wants to see points on the board, so we're going to give them points. Make a few adjustments.
In case you're just joining us, the gray and red is the UWI. India's in the yellow and black. And the score is tied at 19 apiece. This is the third and fourth playoff, the Venus International Invitational Volleyball Tournament 2019. This is the 22nd staging of this tournament. It started back in 1991. Venus won both tournaments, male and female, that year. I'm actually hearing that it's actually the 27th staging and not the 22nd. However, between 1991 and 1999, there was no competition. So would that count? So we'll leave that for the debaters. There is another timeout. There we see O'Neil Banks going through his words of inspiration. So this will be the second and final timeout. Oh, it's 2 per team?
Yeah, 2 timeouts per team.
Per team,
Per
set.
set.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the second we've seen so far. You have the first lead of the set. The first lead of the match. They lead 2019. Well, could be said they're leading at the right time, at the back end of the set. That spike was wide. Score is now locked at 20 apiece. Of course, the set will go to 25, but you must win by 2. If it ends up 24 all, it's deuce. Oh, good dig and then good spike.
Yeah, that was a good hit from Johandi.
India's now lead 21-20. That was a good deep serve on that occasion. There's a block, but there's a whistle on the play. Net infringement.
No, that was an attack error. The ball didn't clear the net, so Yuri violation, 4 contacts.
22-20.
And Yuri now takes their second timeout, second and final timeout of the set. Closest score, 22-20. At this point, it's almost going into an error-free game because 25 is just around the corner.
Yeah, you did have the advantage at 2019. That was their first lead of the set, but they have lost it. And a bit of a back and forth game. What do you think? I'll start with you, Donovan. What do you think is the key for India's in terms of winning the set?
Well, first thing is that server that you see about to serve. Just have to keep those serves intact, because as soon as you make a mistake in a tight finished game like this, you're in trouble.
And that's France Bellevue, who had the serve. It was a good one. Good block, excellent block by UWI.
Yeah, you really needed that block. That was a good time block, well placed in front of the hitter.
That was Tishel Solis.
Point for
with the block.
UWI.
Let's see her here, great angle. So they have the serve, they trail by 1. There's a whistle.
Net violation on UA.
That's about the 3rd time you has been guilty of a net violation. It's really costing them. It will mean that India's go up by 2, and they're 2 away from the first set. And that's not the first time that we have seen Ashley Smith with a service violation. Or the service fault in the middle of the net. So she gives back the point. They still lead by 1 though, India's.
Chris, at this point of the game, that's where all the butterflies start floating around. Because everybody wants to take the set and no one wants to make an error.
And there we just saw another hitting error from UWI, giving India's the set point and not much room for any more errors.
Tishel Solis with an excellent block and then a net violation, attempting another block. Here's you. That's going to be long, and that's going to be the first set to India's. So India's led for majority of the set. They end with the lead. They take the first set 25-22. Douglas, where did Yui go wrong?
It's actually on the offensive side of the game. The hitting errors, and if they had converted a few of those, at least not making an error, it would have given them a chance to play for the point or actually score the point right off of the attack. As long as you can improve that, then the game should be able to go point for point, battle for
Unforced
battle.
errors, especially at the net from the UWI. We saw at least 4 net faults there, net violations. Donovan, you said that was important for Indians to use their serve to their advantage and defend their points. They had the lead for the majority of the set. You would have to say they are deserving.
Yes, definitely. As I'd say, Chris, the Indians have a tendency of feeding off the UE errors. They haven't been passing well, and they saw that also. Coverage of court actually hasn't been good on UE's team, so that's what India used to their advantage.
Well, India's with a 3-goal win in the first set. They lead 25. Well, they won that first set 25-22. It's a best of 5. They're all smiles at the moment. I expect UE to come back strong. There's a lot of experience in their team. Of course, there's the former national captain Paula and Porter, who a lot of persons would know through the media. Former national captain, senior member of this team. I'm sure a wealth of experience she will bring to this, and a lot of advice going into the second set in terms of what they need to do better.
I'm pretty sure Yuri is going to come with a much more improved game. Improved in the sense of not making so many unforced errors. The net falls, I'm pretty sure they will be reduced. The attacking errors will also be reduced. So the game is going to be elevated at least on the Yuri side. Because like you said, they have the experience. They just need to get themselves composed and get back to work.
Excellent stuff. Of course, Indians would have gone to your team, Venus, in the semi-final. Tell me about that matchup. What did Venus do to break down the team of Indians? And where did you find them lacking? Well, we'll get back to that. We go to a break here at the National Arena. India's winning the first set 25-22.
Go. We're doing it great. We fight on blockers, we're doing passes, we're doing servers, we're doing great. Just keep it like that. It's 2 more.
Let's go. Hustle on 3.
It's 2 more and that's it.
Hustle on 3.
It's 2 more and that's it.
Let's go. Hustle on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hustle.
Welcome back to the National Arena for the Venus International Invitational Volleyball Tournament 2019. We're ready for second set action. UWI versus India's. India's taking the first set by 25 points to 22. And I'm still with Douglas Hunter and Donovan Buckle, the two experts in the sport of volleyball. Gentlemen, the second set. You with the serve, and nothing unusual from what we've seen so far. They trail one point to nil.
One set to nil.
One set to nil. Well, they also trailed by 1 point as well.
Yep, you got that. Yep, 1 point.
Make that 2. Point to Yui on that occasion. It's a great lob finish, but it was well defended. Interesting point. Another lob attack, and that's going. That wasn't the best of work on that occasion from UWI. That will go to India's.
Yeah, India is now on the board, trailing Yui in this set.
The thing is, Chris, with women's volleyball, it's more defensive. So it's not like a straight male game where you see like a dig or a hard serve, a good pass, and then a hard hit. Women are way more defensive, so you have a lot of court movements and action going on at the same time.
Yep, and definitely longer rallies in the women's game.
I was about to say, it's certainly longer rallies. A lot of sits and dinks and lobs. 4-1 now to UWI. Five 5-2 to UWI, so they're off to a better start in this second set. They trail 1-0 in terms of sets. It's a best of 5 for the third place playoff. And he said a characteristic of the women's game, longer rallies, a lot more movement in terms of how they finish. Not the power, spikes that we've seen in the men's game, where points probably don't last more than 3 shots. Yeah. Very unusual in the men's game for it to go back and forth. Here we see the previous point, which India's won. Fell on the line. Yeah, a little bit of misjudgment there from the UWI. They thought it was going out.
Actually, that one came off the block and in their own court. But as you can see, India is fighting back. They've closed it to a point. Oh, great dig there by the number 1. Yep, as we spoke about the longer rallies, as you could see just now. Here we go. Yui unable to finish the play at the net. Some of what we saw in the first set.
Yeah. She was almost, that ball did though, to give her credit, that ball did drop at an awkward angle. So it was almost under the net. So for her to get that from under over the net would, I would more think it would have been locked. She would probably have been looking to set instead. 6-4 to Yui. They enjoy the 2-point advantage.
And like I said, I expected Yui to come back in this set with a little bit more composure, more ball control to score the points that they do need. And as you can see, they're up by 2 points.
So, vamos, Michelle, vamos. Vamos, hombre.
That was a good kill on that occasion from the India's team.
Let's get the saddle. Let's get the saddle.
And that was Tanya Cadena.
Bájate un poco, ¿oíste?
With that, the number 5 for India's.
Nada más ponle los brazos para arriba, ¿oíste? Que resuelva ella, que resuelva
Michelle
ella.
Moyes is going to serve. They trail 5-6.
Que resuelva ella. What happened? Que lo busque ella donde sea. Huh? What happened? What happened?
A lot of Spanish being spoken there
What happened to him?
by the India's advisor / coach.
I need to check the rules against that.
Set is alive. Set is alive. Set is alive. Set is alive. Set is alive.
You can't eat on the bench.
Outside.
Does that mean you can't drink on the bench?
Oh!
Of course, not everyone on his team would be understanding him.
Macro!
Excellent work by the libero of UAE on that occasion. That's Kayla Wilkins. Ooh, that will be UAE's point. They will go up 7-5.
Yeah, there was some miscommunication between the setter and the middle hitter just now, resulting in the point for UAE.
Kayla Wilkins, the libero in the red shirt, has been doing a lot of work in the backcourt in terms of diving around and saving a lot of those attacking plays from India's, but all in vain there, because then her teammate serves the ball in the middle of the net, and that's been the problem for UWI, the unforced errors, whether it's the net violations or the service errors.
And like Donovan said earlier about the libero, that's exactly what they're out there to do. That hard work in the backcourt, keep that ball off the floor. Then we have another serving error from the opposing team.
And you would think that the libero is used especially when you have a weak defender in your rotation, because obviously it rotates clockwise. So if when the weak person does reach the backcourt, that's when you would find the libero coming in. You would think that's the strategy.
That's pretty much it. Yep.
Is it used as much in the men's game? You find that it's used more in the female game, or just generally?
It's used as often, both men and women. That role has really pivoted the game in terms of controlling that ball. Somebody on the court who moves well, has good control to assist with your offense from the ball control side.
Another great example of a long rally in the female game, and it's won by UWI. They move up 9-6 now in the second set. They'll be trying to square this at one set all. They have the serve as well.
And we have another serving arrow.
That was Renata Charles with a misserve. Comes from Trinidad and Tobago. Renata. Good block on that occasion. Good dig. Shireen Richards tries hard, can't get it over the net. It will be India's point, 9-7 now. Excellent serve by India's.
And that's France serving in the backcourt there. If you can recall, in the previous set, she went back and she got, I think, 3 points with her deep serve. So now she's back there. Let's see if they can actually capitalize on that again.
France Bellevue was born in Haiti, lives in Boston now. As he says, does manipulate the back in terms of how she serves. Stood way back on that occasion. Still in play. That will be out. There is a flag. India's point.
And as I would say, Chris, it's a different UAE team right now, because what I see happening yesterday when they were playing Friday and Saturday, they look way much better than this.
I think we might have a slight
France
injury.
Is down. France Bellevue. We're just speaking about her, the server.
She might have hit something trying to get out of the way of the previous spike that came her way.
Saying she hit her head. Let's hope she's okay.
We have someone from the medical staff there. Yeah. This is always concerning when you see a player, on the floor. But we'll always, hope for the best and hope there's nothing serious going on there.
There is a team doctor in the UAE unit, Sandrika Young. And apparently she's the only doctor in Jamaica certified through the FIVB.
There she is.
There she is. Well, I guess she's not overly concerned. Well, I know it's not her team, but you would still think that she'll be looking on and probably lending advice if necessary. Here is the incident.
Yeah, she
so dodged it. Then she fell there and oh yes, the snap of the neck.
Yeah, she did hit the floor a little
like she
bit.
hit the head hard, but the snap of the neck might have been a problem. There she is. Seems to be.
Well, a good thing is she's up and she's able to move on her own. That's always a good thing to see.
So the point was actually awarded to UAE. So it actually did touch her then on the way out. So 10-9 to UAE. Unfortunate, because the India's team would have wanted her to continue serving. That's France. But UWI move on now to 11-9 in the second set. There we see a jump serve. Ooh, that will be out.
Oh, that one was on the line.
It was on the line. Well,
Called in by the line judge and
12-9.
confirmed by the first referee.
Two referees at the net, the first referee and the second referee. Our first referee is Damian Gooden. The second referee, Seymour Lannemon. Explain to me the difference in terms of the responsibility of the first and second. Do they do the same thing or they have different jobs?
They have different portfolios. The first referee, he is over every one on the court.
So the court play.
Yeah, he has the right to overrule and make the final decision based upon his personal judgment, along with the assistance of, the folks that work with him.
Right.
The first referee
That's
deals
the first.
with.
That's the first.
The first referee is the one on the stand.
Right.
He deals with the ball handling, double serve, contact. The second referee is more concerned about the rotation, players' position
Okay.
at the time of serving, net violations on the blocking side,
I got you.
during the rally.
Yeah, put it up. She's gonna run.
Okay,
She's
makes
gonna run
sense
for it.
that one pays
Put it
attention
up.
to the net and the rotation, the other in terms of the actual play, the running time, basically. We see a timeout here for India's in the second set. This set hasn't gone their way thus far. It's been a resurgent effort from the UWI. We are locked, however, at 13 apiece. No, actually it's 39, to UWI.
And the point goes to UWI. They inch a point further.
14-9 in the second set. UWI lost the first set, 25-22. Ooh, that was heading out, but did she get a touch?
Yeah, she did get a touch, and again, the point goes to UWI.
That was a bad error.
No, that was a good serve. It's a flat, aggressive serve, and it forces the passer to make a decision. Is it in? Is it out?
Yeah.
And even
Looked
though,
like it might have been floating long, but as you said, it's in that area of uncertainty.
yes,
UWI's number 5 is Ali Ashman. Good dink, well saved.
that's what you call a pancake save.
Pancake. She was definitely flat. Oh, lovely shot.
Again,
You
a
know
long
I've always
rally.
been a favorite of the dink. Yes, I think it did sublime touch to execute that, and there we saw a good exponent of that for the UE team. They go up 16-9 in the second set.
And with all the changes in the rule, Chris, what they've actually stopped calling it a dink, which is good for you, but they call it an open tip.
An open hand tip. Interesting. I still like dink. Open hand tip.
And UE extends their lead with another point.
I can understand why they're showing O'Neal so much. He's wearing a good shirt today. And that serve will belong from the UWI. No need to comment, I know it's true.
And
There's
that's the
another
pancake.
pancake.
That's the
Yes.
pancake. Lovely performance there.
Got flat and used her outstretched hand to get the ball back up. Very well done. I noticed when they set the center attacker, it's a lower set. Is there a special name for that? In other words, it's not the high relay, but a low relay before the spike.
All right, Chris, so what that does, because I've been playing middle all my life.
Yeah.
It's a faster set, so what happens is that it actually tricks the blockers on the other side, and you go as a middle attacker, so you're the first person at the net. So what it does, it channels everybody. They gotta make a move to know who they're blocking. The setter can set either in the middle or you can go outside, but it's just for a decoy, as Philip Greenland, the former national coach for Jamaica, would say.
A decoy. Wow.
Decoy.
No special name for that kind of set then?
Yeah.
No? Yeah?
Most folks would call it a quick attack.
Quick attack.
quick
Okay,
attacks.
makes sense, makes sense.
And like Donovan
And
says,
it's always used for the middle attacker,
Right, right.
primarily, yeah.
primarily. Okay.
Can be used for other players, but it all depends on the system or the attack system that you're running.
So you will lead 18-12 in the second set. This one of the biggest leads we've seen for either team in the match so far. There is a good spike, but it's well defended. Back over net to UWI. Ooh, what a block, but it's out. Ui's point, a 7-point lead. It's 19-12.
Yeah, as you can see, Yu is in full control of this set. They need to continue this performance, and they should close this set out in their favor.
Well, Douglas, it's almost as if they were listening to you at the break between sets, because you said they needed to limit their unforced errors, and they have done that. They have, I can't really recall, maybe just the one net violation in this set for UWI, and that's where they were guilty in the first set. They haven't done that, and they've served a lot better as well.
Exactly, and that changes the game significantly.
There we see an excellent spike. 2012, make that 2013 now to the UWI. And if this set continues as is, we'll be all square in the third place playoff. Charles with the serve. And there we see a quick attack. It works. Didn't get a chance to reset India's, and it cost them. It was Charles who as well was trying to dig that from trouble.
The effectiveness of the quick is important. It doesn't give your opponents time to set up. The blocker doesn't know whether they should commit, and if they commit and the setter sets the ball somewhere else, it's still going to be on the attacking side's favor.
The ball did touch the top of the net, but that's irrelevant in terms of the serve.
It's legal now.
Legal no, so there was a change to that as well. There was a point where that would have been a service change, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would think as a server you'd want to perfect that every time, like that.
And there you go again.
Chris, I'm telling you, there are players in the world, and even here nationally, who perfect that net serve. Because if you can do that on almost 10 or more serves, that's 10 points, and the ball is it's so hard to pick up.
Well, that was amazing. That is Tasha Gay Richards, the number 8. There she goes again. Almost touches the top of the net for a third time in a row. Her serve is still successful, and that's 3 in a row. 24-13 set point. Much improved set from the UWI.
Yeah, because they came out and started doing the good things early, so that's why they have this big lead.
Ooh. I would like to say untidy play on that occasion from India, so they gave the advantage away. See now, and that's in the net. Ui's point and the second set. So the UWI 25-13, phenomenal turnaround in the second set. What do you think is the reason for that, Douglas? Let me start with you.
Well, like I said, you have to take care of the unforced errors. You minimize that, let the game flow, and then you play your normal game. You get into your rhythm, and you end up scoring points as you need.
So 25-13. 25-13, the end of the second set. UWI have squared this match at a set apiece. Let us have a look at what the Indians are coming up with. Let's hear from their coaching unit.
Yeah, I know. Oye, hay que tratar de pasar, porque ella está corriendo demasiado. Hey, calm down. Hey, let's go. We play the first one, win, right? Let's go. Arias is A-R-I-A-S. Vamos, hombre.
suppose that they were serving well. It's out, right?
That she gets. So especially when
Welcome back to the National Arena. And we're here for the third place playoff. The Venus International Invitational Volleyball Tournament 2019. And India's in the yellow and black. We're locked at one set apiece, best of 5. The UWI there in the gray and red.
jump harder still.
And India's lead 2 points to zip in the third set. Well, actually, I think it's UWI who lead 2 points to nil, and they have the serve as well, which is out. So that would be 2-1. So, you in the second set, how they change things, less net violations, and they served a lot better. They have now started the third set with an unforced error from the serve. Douglas, you were saying off air that India's one of the key to the India's resurrection, if you want, in the third set is their number one. Talk to me about that.
Yep. I've watched the team play in the preliminary rounds, and
There she is.
Valdez is their one of their number one hitters. For me, she hasn't really shown up in this game as yet, and I'm expecting to see, a different approach now that we are even one set apiece, and everybody's gunning for this third place position.
Johandre Valdez hails from the Dominican Republic. She lives in California. Let us see what she can bring to the third set. Well, back and forth play so far on this point. Good block by India's and their number 10. That is Michelle Moyes.
Yeah, I think India has realized that UE is using the middle, the quick hits, and they are camping out in the middle. That was 3 blockers on Richards just now.
Well, I was really interested to see that serve from Ashley Smith a while ago. It did go well for her, but she was a person who was guilty of the service errors in the previous set. She did serve very well there, so, but they lost the point. India's 4-3 up. Yui with the serve. Nice setup play by UWI, but a good block.
Chance for a point here.
Ooh,
and there you go. They got it again.
Open hand flick.
Tip.
Open hand tip.
And there again, Yui went quick set to the middle, and they were able to score a point. That's what Yui has been using on the offensive side to help their game and to score points.
Excellent work by you. I must say, on the attacking side, they look a little bit more better organized than the India's team since the first set. The India's team almost look rushed in terms of how they're setting up their attacking moves a lot of the time, and so they just end up hitting digging the ball back over to the UE team. Whereas look at this, well, that was unfortunate from UWI, but for the most part, UE have looked a little bit more organized, and they seem to be setting a lot better.
Yeah, the setting has changed. See, that replay shows where Yui is definitely working their quick attacks to the middle, and every chance they get, that's the play they're going to be running.
5-4 to India's. We're 6-4 that is now. We're in the third set. Here is their key player, Valdez. Can she provide with the serve?
I've had the opportunity, Chris, in watching her play. She was so good maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Very good player, I think, even to this date. But the competition or the players that she probably might be playing with might just be a little bit not helping her and getting her game about leaps and bounds.
Yeah, in terms of motivating her to bring what she has to the game.
Yeah, true.
Well, she was successful on her service point there. It's now 7-4. Here she is again. It's a nicely dipping serve. Ooh. Net violation, is that?
Yes. Setter tried to save that ball and ended up in the net. As a result, point goes to India's.
And a timeout called by the UWI. They trail 8-4 in set number 3. We're locked at 1 set apiece in this third place playoff.
The game is basically structured around who is able to control that first ball in your court, set the ball to an effective hitter, and score a point.
We're going to hear what the UWI have to say in their little huddle. There's O'Neill.
Keep pushing. Reach up. You see, you're dropping your elbow. You jump and you're dropping your elbow. So contact is
there he's talking about the offensive side of the game. You got to reach high when you're attacking. That's how you're going to score points. He wants his hitters to keep reaching high on the offensive side. High for spiking, high for attacking.
So he's saying the elbows are dropping.
And
okay.
that poses a problem.
So most of the time when the elbows drop, that is when the spike goes in the net.
Or in the net, or it goes. The contact
accuracy
is made too low, right?
Okay. Right. Excellent words there from their coach. Let's see how they address them. They trail 8-4 in the third set. It's been a topsy-turvy encounter in this third place playoff so far. No side have been consistent in back-to-back sets.
This is a game of momentum, and you would figure that, okay, you just finished a set, you finished the set 25, 12 or 13, you have the momentum, it will take you into the next set. Sometimes things change.
Well, things have certainly changed in this set for India's. They now lead 10-4.
And that was an ace from Valdez.
Valdez again, it's a 6-point advantage.
And the rules from volleyball.
How is Valdez serving again, though? Explain that to me, because she just served. Well, she serves it in the net, so she will lose the opportunity.
No, she had a spell of serves. even though we had long rallies,
It was still her
India was
serve.
still
Right,
winning.
yeah.
So she continued the
Correct,
serving,
correct.
except for that serving error that we just saw.
Commentators jinx. 10-5, you with the serve. And here is another example of a situation where the setup wasn't all that great for India, so they're just forced to dig the ball back over to the UE side.
All right, and as you can see, that attack again, quick set through the middle. India is not able to control it at the net, point for UWI.
10-6.
Another error that time by Shadika Hamilton. Point for UA.
Another point for UE. Good serve.
Double contact, point to UWI, and UE will continue their point scoring run with Richards serving.
Yeah, she has been a dominant server for the UWI. 10-9 now the score. They have closed the gap remarkably. What can she deliver again? A good jump serve deep in the court. Ooh, that's out.
Yeah, the blockers did get a touch on it, but was unable to keep that ball in. Ball was out, point to India's.
Yeah. Open hand tip there by Michelle Moyes. She was a little bit concerned at first because she thought it was blocked, but luckily for her, it went out of play. 11-9 now to India's. Another good deep serve. Yeah. That seemed like an extra touch, was it from... That was the block, which was out. The previous point, highlight of the previous point, well left. But then, an additional touch by India's costing them the point on that occasion. So 11-10, India's with the advantage. They will have a chance. Oh, miscommunication?
A little bit of miscommunication. The thing about the quick set, it really needs precision.
So we're locked at 11 in the third set. As I said, it's been a game so far where the momentum has changed quite a bit. No touch on it, so it's UE's point. That was long in terms of the spike from India's. 12-11, UE lead. Found herself below the net on that occasion. The captain. This is another example of a long rally here. All along the net and out of play. So, UE's point, they will go up by 2 now, 13-11. Attempted block. Let's see it here. There's a block all along the net. Oh, wow.
And out.
Fell on the wrong side of the court as well. UE stretching the lead. It's now 14-11 and some good service points here. Cherie Thompson with the serves. And she will continue. What, four winners on the trot for Thompson. 14-11 the score. Again, not the best attacking move from India's. Ooh. And not the best of agility on that occasion in the backcourt in terms of the defensive play.
Like I said, UWI's game plan is we're going to go through the middle with the quick sets.
And it's working.
And it's worked every time.
I don't know if and the libero's job, as you said, is the defensive stability of the team. But India's libero doesn't seem as agile or so on as Kayla from the UWI team. I don't see her diving around. Here she is. If it does come to her, she digs very well. But when the ball goes low to her right, especially, I see that she struggles in terms of getting down. That was another example.
All right, Chris, with libero playing, what you find is that there are some players who are actually defensive specialists,
right,
and or libero players.
Right.
To me, I think that the India's libero is a DS.
Okay.
Because as a libero, you got to be cleaning the floor, literally, in the back row.
Ooh. Good open hand tip on that occasion. Excellent stuff. Another point for you. They have certainly got, and as you said, they're attacking the middle of the court, which is where, for a lot of the time, the libero is for Indians as well. So they've obviously figured out a deficiency in the center back section of the India's team, and it's working for the UWI. They now have a 5-point advantage. Where on the other hand, UWI seem very solid through the middle.
Okay, no, that was a good play by the libero from India's side.
Right.
She hustled really well, got her hand on it, got a good contact, and was allowed to, to save the play. Let's see the replay here. Here she goes.
It is. Well, she
Got a
obviously
good
heard
touch.
me in terms of the
Yes, sir.
in terms of the agility. She went low to the right on that occasion. Good work.
Way to get her fired up.
Yeah. 17-13 off the top of the net. Good work by UWI. Oh, and that spike is going to be long. They've been guilty of that on a couple of occasions. It was their franchise player, Valdez, on that occasion, the number one, but she couldn't execute the spike. She would be disappointed with that. 18-13
and
now.
you could see her just now. She seemed a little bit disappointed in herself on that play.
Richards with the serve. Not the most powerful serve, but and that was a much better finish from Valdez. That's what we're used to seeing from her.
Like
That
I
was
said,
hit with some conviction.
if she gets into her rhythm on the offensive side, she could pose a little bit of problem for UWI.
And she's been doing that ever since Friday. So I think that, the exhaustion has stepped in. So let's see how she finishes this.
Excellent finish again. So
Donovan, your comments on UWI's offensive plan.
What I'm seeing is that they're serving exceptionally well, which is it's creating like chaos on India's team. They're passing a little bit better, and those two attributes in playing volleyball is always where you're going to win games.
well, there was another powerful strike by Valdez, but this occasion it was blocked. Point to UWI. There it is. Powerhouse of a strike, but they were there. Excellent from Tasha Gay Richards. Important block. And that was not a good set on that occasion from the India's team. And we have criticized the India's team in terms of how they build up their attacking plays. They have been a little bit untidy, not the most accurate in terms of their sets, and it has cost them in terms of how they get the ball over.
Well, Chris, their offense is centered mainly around
Valdez.
And as I say, from Friday, she's been playing exceptionally well. A little bit, exhaustion has stepped in now. And what we're having, I know Coach Ebanks must have said something to his team with regards to stopping this play.
Well, timeout taken by India's. Can they get it together? They trail 21-14 in the third set. There is their coach, Carlos Arias. He doesn't look too happy at all with how things are going, but trying to fire up the troops.
We need let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
We need you is his comment. I wonder if it's Valdez he's trying to get that over to him. Let's see. Well,
Wait.
that creeped its way over.
Go, go, go. Nice roll. You have to block now. Block now. There we go.
Much better build up there.
Right.
Douglas, there was your favorite pancake.
Oh yes, pancake works every time.
Wait.
That was almost a reverse set. Another long rally. Better build up, much better. They tried a quick attack. And it's red
Still in
this
play.
time. Yeah.
Still in play.
Ooh. Oh. Open hand flick. Recovered.
Still in play.
This must have been, if not one of the longest points of the match. Up with it, off the net. Excellent.
Oh, this is outstanding play. This is what we want to see.
Another quick attack, and it's in.
It's in the corner.
Yui with the point. That rally must have at least been 20 touches. At least. 22-14. An 8-point lead for the UWI. And I can imagine quite a few players being exhausted after that rally.
Well, Chris, this is the heights of women's volleyball. We tell about those defensive plays, and that has always been the order of the day here.
Here we go again.
Play six, play six, play six, play six.
Oh, that was too low in terms of the set. Good block, and that will be a point to India's. Good defensive work.
Still good.
Let's have a look at the previous point, though. As I said, at least 20 touches, and that was a finish.
Yeah, that was a finish.
That was a finish.
Again through the middle, quick set.
After maybe a 2-3 minute rally. India's with the serve. They trail by 7. Better set play. Valdez with the spike. There's a good block. Reverse set on this occasion. Well done. Wasn't much conviction on that spike, and it was in the center of the court. Here we go again. Back and forth. That's going to be out. Why did she go for it? Oh no. Misjudgment.
Yeah, when you get caught up in the game, like I said, most of those long balls, and you have to make that split second decision, in or out. Sometimes it works against
Wasn't
you.
aware where she was, because her left foot was actually on the line or right before it, so it would have clearly, that ball couldn't have come down in time, but unable to see it. Here you see it, she's right there and thereabouts, close to the line. Yeah, I think she realized after, but she wasn't sure, so went for it. Unfortunate for her, fortune for Yui. They're 2 points away from a 2-1 lead in the third place playoff. Great serve, and that will be set point.
Okay, Yui about to go up.
Nueve, cinco, 9-4. La van a meter.
24-15.
Wait.
Set point. We've spoken about the importance of Valdez. Unfortunately so far, she has not been able to get it done in the third set. There she is in the number 1. They get a point back though, India's. It's 24-15. 24-16 now. There she is. She's also the best server for the India's team, but should have a lot of work to do. They trail by 8 points. With the kill, Yui with a 2-1 advantage. They take the third set, 25-16. What do you think about that set? I'll start with you, Donovan. Yui in command.
All right. As I said, Chris, before, what Coach Ebanks did was get his troop together, start serving well, passing well, more defensive coverage, and running that middle attack that we saw often speak of. And that has been working well with them, and that's why you have that large lead going into this fourth set.
Douglas, you spoke about the need for Valdez to get involved. She did to some extent. Where did they fall short? What do they need to do, Indians, to come back in the fourth set and avoid a 3-1 loss?
Well, we definitely need to see Valdez more involved on the offensive side. And I must reflect to previous game that she has played. She was attacking from the back court as well as front court and brought the heat to the opponent. If she brings this to the game, like I said, the game could change significantly in India's favor.
So, speaking of Johandre Valdez, we go to a special feature on the lady from the Dominican Republic who lives now in California. UWI lead Indians by 2-1. This is the third place playoff in the Venus International Invitational Volleyball Tournament.
My name is Johandre Valdez, and I'm 26 years old. I'm from Dominican Republic, but I live actually in Virginia, Springfield. So I'm representing to India from Boston, and we are playing here, the tournament venue. I started to play volleyball when I was like 18 years old. Why? Because my parents, they push me to do it because they say I have talent, I'm tall, and they say probably you can be good for playing this kind of sport. What I love, hit the ball. My favorite volley or story, like the last year, we was playing in Puerto Rico. We was representing Los Viajeros. That was a fun game down there, and we won first place. The level there is so high, so the form that they train us, and we have some fun. 2014 until 2016, I was playing for OEM in college, OEM in my country, and 17 I was playing for Butesa in my country. I was playing in the position outside and middle. I also play beach volleyball, but I prefer indoor. For the reason that I feel more comfortable, for my position, you have to be more resistant. And I think that the form for the slash, for move, is more easy for me when I'm playing indoor. How would describe volleyball? Passion, love, and life. Lo describo como amor, la vida y la pasión.
Johandre Valoy Valdez from the Dominican Republic. There she is in the number one, the key component, the key player for this India's team. And as you said, Douglas, she really needs to raise her game. The team needs to rally around her if they're going to have any chance of being successful against a resurgent UE quadrant.
You know, I'm taking into consideration what Donovan said. It's been a hectic weekend. She may be tired and, you know, unable to do what we saw in the previous rounds. However, her teammates can support her in many ways, get her fired up to at least bring some resemblance of what she had over the weekend.
Donovan, you did mention that fatigue could be an aspect for these ladies. They played 4 matches in the preliminary rounds. Then Indians would have played a quarterfinal match and a semi-final match. So this is actually their 7th match. So they have played 1 more match than the UWI. Could that be taking a toll on the legs as well?
From what I've seen so far from Friday and Saturday, it has, because she is the workload for this, especially in the attacking era. She's a workload for this team.
Start of set number 4, and UE continue where they left off with aggressive play down the center. Excellent kill, and that was Cherie Thompson. With it, they lead 1-0 in set number 4, and they have the 2-1 advantage in terms of sets. Make that 2. Well, UE certainly didn't get it right in set number 1. A lot of unforced errors. They were disorganized, but since then, they have been formidable.
Yeah, they have settled down. The quality of the passing has improved because, you know, it allows the setter to run that quick attack all day long, and therefore they're scoring points.
Out, out, out!
3-0 now to the UWI. Of course, I'm still here sitting with Douglas Hunter and Donovan Buckle, the two experienced men in volleyball, whether playing, coaching, analyzing, or otherwise. Been around it for so many years. Last year we were at the University of Technology. This year we are at the National Arena. Do you think any difference in terms of the environment, in terms of how the play would have run the court? Do you think any differences in terms of the court?
Well, the venue definitely, because now you have more ceiling height to play around with. You have more court space around the court to play with. So the game can actually expand in terms of quality.
Okay. Never thought of that. So you mean in terms of retracting the ball and so on, in terms of the depth, in terms of the play? Okay.
Yes.
Well, as Douglas would say, the thing that would happen is that it's more court space, especially when the male third place playoff comes around, and the women's and men's championship. You find those ladies and those guys running all over the place.
Well, Indians have fought back. It's now 4-3 to them. They did trail 3-0 at the start of the set, so good to see the fight. Can it continue? Well, one thing that they're definitely not short of here at the National Arena is space.
Oh, definitely.
You with that point, we're locked at 4. They have the 2-1 advantage. Did mention they also have the advantage of playing one match less so far in the tournament. Of course, the preliminary round and the quarters finals and the semifinals would have taken place at the GC Foster College. So this will be the first match for both these teams at the arena. Here you're hearing Carlos Arias, the coach of the India's team, in the background, trying to stir up
getting his team fired up.
Yeah,
yes,
trying to get them fired up. They have not been so fired up since the first set. Unfortunately for him, that will be a point to the UWI. We'll be locked at 5 now. I can't say that the India's team have made a lot of, I would say, unforced errors in terms of net violations, service errors. But what I think they have been guilty of is, as we said, the setting up of their attacking play. They have been somewhat rushed. They haven't got their passing. Their passing hasn't been accurate, and that's actually the part that you improved drastically in the last couple of sets.
Two things I think is working against India, from my perspective. Is yes, they aren't passing the ball well enough so they can run an offense, and then they haven't figured out how to stop UWI's middle offense.
The quick attack.
The quick attack.
Right.
And then another thing again, Douglas, is that when you have a team where, as I keep coming back to this, passing and serving, it's the two most important components of the game, and that's what UWI has built on, and that's why you see this far-fetched lead for themselves.
And both passing and serving is what UWI were guilty of in the first set, which is why they lost it.
All right, we just saw where India's just blocked one of UWI's quick attacks,
which is a rare occurrence.
And it is. So if they can continue to do that, they're going to force UWI to go somewhere else.
Short. Let's get a pass. Let's get it. Te queda flotando así ahí. Te queda flotando. Short.
Okay, Indians are, somehow improving a bit. They got a couple blocks in the previous rallies, just scoring another point, moving into a third service option for Valdez.
Yeah, that will be a point to India's.
Yeah, India, they score another point. Valdez continues to serve. That one was hit off the block. And India now lead 10-6.
10-6, excellent stuff. Here is Carlos Arias. He will be a little bit more happy in terms of how this set is transitioning in terms of play. And as you said, blocking one of the central attacks of UE, good sign. Valdez getting more involved. She's serving now, good sign, because obviously she's the best server. So you'd like her to serve for as long as possible. So that's a pass. You hear Coach O'Neill talking about movement of the ball from UE. Let us get the passes accurate and rotate the passes a little bit better. So I think what he's also trying to say is don't be too predictable in terms of what you're going to do in terms of attack.
That is
As
true.
we have a look at some of the highlights of the set so far. Must say though, it has taken India's a long time to realize that UE were attacking through the middle. Or to make the adjustment then.
It's actually making the adjustment. They knew, but they seemingly could not handle it.
Right.
They figured it out, got a couple blocks. Now they're in the driver's seat for this set.
Do you think the fact that they have put, because if you notice that block that they executed, it was two persons who came to block very close together. It wasn't one person and then another person to the middle. It was almost a double team in terms of the block. Do you think that that is a that strategy is a
That is going to be a good strategy because the more blockers you can put on the hitter, the greater the chance of you actually blocking and scoring a point.
That was Kayla Wilkins. You're having a look at 15 digs so far in the game. That's the UWI Libero with the number 24 in the red shirt. Ooh, the opposite number trying to dig unsuccessfully. Too much power on that. That was Shireen Richards in the number 1. UWI still trail though. It's 11-8. And one of their better servers, Sherry Thompson, now with it. Not the best of sets from Captain Anna Tejada. And it will be UE point, 11-9. And Thompson still with the serve.
Yes, and UE is coming back slowly. They're working on their defensive end and getting the points from that.
That's a good kill.
And that's a hammer from Shadika Hamilton. Barnes hitting that one down the line for the point for India. Strong hit.
That's a really good finish there. Shadika Hamilton, of course, former national representative for Jamaica. Quite involved in the third set. Shireen Richards, she's been one of the players integral in UWI's resurgence in the second and third sets, and she continues that now in set number 4, the number 1 for the UWI. Oh, that wasn't the best of spikes at all.
Yeah, that was a miss hit. Ball in the net. Point straight to UWI.
Was Mona Crawford with a miss hit. UE point. UE right back in this set now, and they have locked it at 12 apiece.
It's serving much, much better, that's for sure.
Serve down the middle yet again. Crawford, that's going out, but kept in play. Oh, good try by Crawford. That might have been the first header we've seen this afternoon, this morning. Mona Crawford has played in numerous Venus tournaments.
Yes, she
in
has.
fact, most, I would think. 4 different teams. Here she is trying with the head. Well, I can tell you, if I was playing volleyball, I would have been doing a lot of that. I'm not so sure about my digging technique. So I might have been used. I would trust more my feet and head.
Well, you're allowed to do that. So if you can
Yes,
really control that ball with your feet, by all means, go right ahead.
I'd like to think most persons who play football would be trying to use their feet and head. Nice serve. And just making it. Crawford now. And her shot, her spike is well blocked. Again by Shireen Richards.
Yeah, Shireen is having a good time on the net, both on the offensive side and the defensive side. She's scored a couple of points on her attacks and really got a good block on that, as you can see in the replay.
Crawford did well to keep it alive, but unfortunately for her, her teammate was unable to help. That's a good tip. Here is Richards again. Are we heading to another one of those long rallies? And that's heading out. And that will be a point to India. India's, we're locked at 14. Set number 4. Encouragement from the coach. He wanted a better finish, Coach Banks. As I said, that was an example of what he was telling the girls earlier in, I think it was set number 3, that he needed more elevation in terms of the striking arm. It was a little bit too low on that occasion as well.
Yeah, you're going to hit that ball as high as you can over the top of the block, score your point.
Good block by India's. 15-14, they now lead. Can they take this to a deciding set? We haven't seen that so far in the tournament. It's been all straight set victories.
Yeah, straight set victories.
Well, the tide has already changed because this isn't a straight set scenario.
And there goes Valdez, hitting one cross court.
Great power behind it as well. She really does execute. Is it the wrist snap that is important for the spike?
Yes, it is.
She has a good high contact and finishes with the wrist snap, and that's definitely going to get the ball down faster than normal.
It's almost like tennis with a serve. You know, you need that pronation and snap of the wrist.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. She certainly executes very well, Valdez. I'm sure Coach Arias will be hoping she has many more opportunities to spike. Another point to the India's team. They move on now by 4, 18-14. And there will be a timeout.
Timeout taken.
Very animated now. Has the 18-14 lead. Has the momentum at the moment as well.
But earlier.
So Coach Banks is taking a seat. Coach Chung, who is also a registered doctor. Let's see if we can make out what he's saying.
Alright, hold the passes a little off.
Well, hasn't been vocal so far in the match, but obviously doesn't like what he's seeing in the...
He's telling his team that they need to finish the play. You have to finish. He's urging them to take control of the ball, finish the play, get the point that we need. I heard Carlos calling into his team backcourt, when Valdez was in the backcourt. I think he's trying to get Valdez more in the offense.
Right.
So let's see how that works.
Ooh, that's a good kill. Good kill, Patrice McLean, the captain, of course, of this UE team.
Valdez is kind of a little bit way more effective in the front rows because she blocks well, she passes well, and she attacks well.
Well, another. Explain ace to me in volleyball is slightly different to say tennis, because even if you touch the serve but it doesn't go back over, it's still an ace.
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. Coach Arias is saying no. He doesn't like that. Telling Moyes no, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like that defensive work there. And why would he? You have gotten 2 points in a row. Is it good? Yes, it is.
And that's off the block.
And no surprise who it is as well.
Con ella, that defense.
Valdez. 1917, another kill for her. She has found
Vamos,
some
Yesenia, vamos.
renewed energy.
Short.
Oh, that was well placed.
Yeah, that was an off-speed shot. Had the
In between,
defender
yeah.
undecided whether to go. Ended up with the point. Good shot.
In between the right back
And the,
and the right forward.
yep.
Yeah. (1918). Can India's? Yes, that's a lovely
Oíste.
Yep.
lob finish.
Must make a move for it. Touch every ball. We are behind.
See,
28.
Valdez has been hitting everything. Here you see off-speed shot, catches everybody on their heels, scores a point.
Shows her range, Valdez.
Ella lo
Yes.
tiene también el 13, oíste.
Good
Ella
skill
no es un
set.
caso. Esa es la situación tuya ahora. Ahí que tú
Now
tienes
you
que
see
hacer
why
ese
Coach Aris wants her in the front court.
Out.
Ooh, that was good
Hey,
judgment.
keep it up.
That was
Keep it up,
really
let's
good
go.
judgment by the UT. We have, that's been a rare leave because we have seen so many of those balls at that trajectory in that area being kept in play. So that was excellent judgment by the UWI. Service error, very costly for India's. And now, if not the best server, one of the best servers for UE with it at the moment. That is out as well. All square at 20. And Tasha Gay Richards, who's had quite a few service points for UE so far, she's with the serve now.
Yeah, she's one of you is more consistent servers, so
Yeah.
we should expect this to continue.
Another good serve. That's going to be another point. Not the best dig by the libero.
Arriba, Yesenia, que se está metiendo
Almost got
ahí.
too high on her. Caught her.
So that's the effectiveness of the float serve. It seems as if it's in one particular line, and then at the last moment it shifts and throws you off completely.
Well, it worked for Richards. Here is another one. This is a better dig by the libero. Good strike. Is it in? Yes, it is.
Let's work again. Let's work again.
Not Valdez. This time it's the captain, Tejada.
Ella no pasa.
Ana Tejada. 21
No, ella
all.
no pasa. Tienes que cogerla tú.
And Valdez is a server as well.
Not so high. Defense.
That's
Center
really
six.
good.
Play deep. Play
Now
deep.
having
Play
the angle
deep.
from the back of the court. That's going to be out. Is it?
No.
Is there a block on it from UWI?
We have to see what the officials call on
Yeah.
that one.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yes, that was
Sherry
off the block.
Thompson
no.
went down. So, yeah, India's point. And more importantly for them, Valdez is serving. 22-21, set number 4. We go to 25. You must win by 2. You will lead 2-1. Good kill.
Oh, nice
It
dig,
wasn't
lovely dig.
Valdez. But Yui, on the offensive end, get it done. Partially blocked, but not enough. And we're locked at 22.
13.
Shorty.
13, mami. 13.
That was a very good dig in the backcourt by the UWI, the captain. And then it was Solis with the finish.
No, you're set.
So here we go. Locked at 22. Bins. Oh, well. Unforced error.
Okay. At this point of the game, nerves. They set in. Anything can happen.
Tienen que jugar
Yeah,
ahora.
bad miss by Bins. She's taken out of the game
Tienen que jugar.
immediately.
Right away.
And Sherry Thompson is brought in.
Hey,
It's okay.
It gets slow from here on, Chris, because everyone wants to take the set. Everyone wants this game.
Well, 23-22 to India's. If they win the set, we go to a deciding 5th set, which plays to 15 points. If UE win the set, it's all over. They're the 3rd place team for 2019. Good dig.
Cross.
It's Crawford. Up.
Defend again.
Oh,
Coming long.
not the
Free
best
ball,
set
go.
on that occasion, but it's not where you want Valdez. That's going to be UE's point, 23 all. Valdez in the backcourt. After the ball is served, Valdez can come to the front court, can she? No?
No, she has to complete her plays in the backcourt. If she's going to attack, it has to be initiated from the backcourt once it's above the height of the net.
So that's a disadvantage for at the moment for the India's team because she is in the backcourt. There she is. Her spike is not as effective from that area. Good block. Yui blocked again by India's. Here's the captain that was heading out. It was saved. Oh, well, that will be a point to Yui. Match point. 24-23. Set number 4. The captain, Patrice McLean, with an important play. Yui.
Hey, 1 point, 1 point. Let's go. Hey,
Match point. Tichelle Solis serving for the match.
Vamos, Turisha. Play the 6. Back row. Nice play.
McLean again.
Block for it.
Block.
Back row again.
Taylor. Good ding. Point to India's. We're at deuce. No surprise.
And if you notice the last two,
It was Valdez.
the last two attacks came from the backcourt to Valdez. She hit one, she got dug, she got the second set, and she played tactical on that point.
One of the few occasions that Wilkins, the libero for Yui, couldn't dig it out. And then an unforced error with the serve. That means 25-24 advantage, we would say, to Yui.
Set point, match point.
Match point as well. Again. And maybe their MVP, Shireen Richards, with the serve. She's been excellent. Oh, good recovery by Thompson. Here we go again.
Wait, now.
It will be Crawford though. Excellent finish by Crawford. Saw that everybody was backing off and went for the middle of the court with a lob finish.
Now we have Valdez, was it?
Yeah.
We have
That was Crawford.
Valdez now comes to the front court.
Now comes to the front court, so you know where all the offense is going to take place.
It was Crawford with a serve. Good finish. Yui with the advantage again. McLean, well, she's turning up big.
We can actually sit here and predict where the set is going to go for the Indies team. It's going to go outside to Valdez.
26-25. Good serve. Oh, problems now. And it can't get to Valdez, so Yui will have a chance. Down the center, and they do it.
And it's over. Game plan executed.
Yui
UWI.
are the third place team for the Venus International Invitational 2019. They have defeated the India's team 3-1, a close fourth set, but they get the job done. Well done to the UWI.
UWI somehow seemingly kind of lost the focus of going through the middle. I think India started to block a little bit more effective, so the game opened up a lot. And that's why you found yourself in that ding-dong battle, point scoring. However, they were able to finish exactly the way they wanted to, through the middle, aggressive hit.
Donovan, your take on the game, well deserved for you as they go through their fair play handshakes and so on.
You're right. To me, India's lost it in serving and passing because they did well in both for the first and second sets. What they actually had to do was what they did in those two prior sets. They didn't, and hence them losing this third place playoff.
So there you see it. India's taking the first set 25-22. Yui 25-13, 25-16, and 27-25 in the fourth set. They win 3-1. Of course, they have been three-time champions of this Venus tournament, the UWI, but they finish in third position in 2019. There's their captain, Patrice McLean. She came up big at the back end of the set. But 3-1. We take a break. We're back with more after.
winners in the third place playoff, and it has been an exciting day for us at the Venus Volleyball International Invitational right here at the National Arena in Kingston, Jamaica. As I mentioned, UWI are the winners of the third place playoff. They, of course, were playing against Indias, and we are joined by the coach of Indias, Mr. Carlos Arias. Carlos, welcome. Yes, so unfortunately, you guys lost today to UWI. What would you say is the result or is the cause of your downfall today? Because you guys started out strong because you actually won that first set.
Yeah, the thing is we got a lot of confusion at the end, but we started pretty good. It was about confusions, about the positions, and all of that. Yeah.
So is there anything looking back that you think you would have done differently?
Yeah, if we will different these things more in the back court, we would get better results.
Considering that you're from Boston, right, and you are not on your home turf, do you think that was a disadvantage for you?
No, not really, because I'm from Dominican Republic. We feel like we're home right now. Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned you feel like you're at home. What's the experience been like for you comparing GC Foster College, where you were earlier this week, to the finals here at the National Arena in Kingston?
Yeah, it's much better play here. Yeah, you see like wide open space, and you get more like you feel better. You feel better playing here.
All right. Well, the match is finished. What's next for you guys? Are you planning to come back next year?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we come back. We will come back stronger. I beg you that. Yeah.
Stronger and better. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so that was, of course, Carlos Arias. He's the coach of the India's team. They lost to the UWI today. And I'm now joined by Mr. Ibanks. He is the coach of the winning UWI team. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So you must be feeling, ecstatic. How was it for you? How is it that you guys managed? You started out on the losing end, but you came back stronger and better, and you've won.
Well, the thing is this, consistency is what we always try to emphasize in our training sessions and at the club itself. Usually, I realize that we usually start a little slow, but as we move along, we pick up the progress as we move on. So it's important that when we're in training, we try to master the basics so that it helps us later on. And the fighting spirit that we put across today was something I must commend the girls for. They really stuck to the task. They really pushed themselves. We had some good rallies, some good playing. We had some lapses here and there, but it's a part of the game. But I'm happy that we were able to hold our nerve and come across with a win.
Who would you say were the star players for you today?
Well, right now I have to give credit to my setter, Ali, and she did a very good job. Also my middle blockers, who came in, Tasha Gay Richards, who came in, Shereen Richards also did a good job. Our outside hitter, Patrice McLean, really did some good work for us in the back row. And Sherry, who is also a national libero, played some good defense and did some good attacking for us. So all around, I think it's a good team performance.
You're back at third place. I understand that. One last, what's the plan for you in terms of the fact that, this is a win, and a win is a win, but I'm sure UAE wants to get to that final, wants to get the ultimate prize. You have any plans for next year?
Well, we have been to the final. We have won the competition quite a few times before. Last year we finished second, and this year we finished third. It's a work in progress. The teams we go up against, yes, they play at a different level than we do. And what we try to do is to use our local players. We have overseas players who come in as well. So occasionally when we get these players to come in, we involve them in the program. And normally we use them as a initiation, because from these players who we bring in, they usually become a part of the national squad to try out for the national senior squad. So that's what we try to do each time. We recruit, bring them in, have them playing in a tournament like this against different levels of play, and that usually boosts our team. So we have most of our local-based players who give us that. So going back to training, we have the National Cup League going on, and we are preparing for that.
Okay, awesome. One last question. I understand you're also the coach for the male team. They are preparing, they are ready and raring to go. What do you think will be the outcome?
It can go either way. I know the guys, once they decide to dig deep and play hard, we will get through it. We have a quality team, we have quality players all around. We have no overseas based, everybody's local based, and we have played well through this tournament. Just that we had some unfortunate situations, but nevertheless, the important thing is to compete well, and give your best at all times.
Well, I wish you all the best in that, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
That was, of course, Mr. O'Neil Banks. He is the coach for the UWI team, and they, of course, are the winners for the third place playoff at the Venus International Invitational, Volleyball Invitational, right here at the National Arena in Kingston, Jamaica. It has been fun. We take a break, and we'll be back with so much more.